Oh, there we
I
go.
was I was like, oh, I'm gonna remember to unmute myself this time, right? Surely. Thank you everyone for tuning into that beautifully insightful analyst desk. Thank you, Yoki, for shedding some light on everything that we had to that went on during that last amazing set. But we've got another great set that's going to be coming at you right now. This is Prodigies versus LYTE for the last playoff spot and potentially a spot in potential relegation, because if Comeback Kings stomps and ends up getting like a huge round differential, and either LYTE or PROD ends up getting stomped as well, it could be it could actually swing them down into that last spot of relegation. So this is big, Mystic. What are you looking for here?
Okay. So, I'm a big fan. Like, going into this season, I was a big LYTE believer, right? So, seeing them fall down, fallen angels here is tough to see, but hey, I think they still have what it takes here to secure it, but at the same time, it's always nice to see some new people make their way in, right? Maybe it's time for LYTE to head out. They've had their moment of glory, and now it's time for prodigies. Specifically, I'm very impressed by Pengui,
Mm-hmm.
who has been someone who, like, he has been a strong player before, but relatively unknown just due to lack of competing. So it's always cool to see new people in the competitive scene and see them succeed. So I'm actually going to give it to the underdogs here, more so for just some fresh blood. I want to see things get mixed up.
Honestly, I'm right there with you. The matches that I've seen Prodigies play, like they all haven't been like spectacular, but they've always been solid. Penguin has always been putting on good pressure. Liari, of course, has been a tournament mainstay, and Xeno Gemini has been surprisingly solid in the goalie. And if LYTE is not ready, if they continue on this cold streak that they've been on, the literal prodigies of competitive Omega Strikers are going to end up overtaking them as those mainstays, as those like veterans of the scene. It's exciting. It's a very exciting time, and it means a lot for so many of these players.
Yeah, and it looks like we just found the match, so we are going in here. We'll see what the starting draft looks like. The map, Awakenings, I don't think we get to see until we get in game. But oh, I think
Woo!
little bit of a loading bug there, so have to hold it down a little bit longer just for a second. And actually, just talking about prodigies here, I mentioned Pengui, but I didn't mention Xeno at all. So Zeno is someone who, like, I remember from beta, who was just a good player. But again, he was never at the top during beta. He didn't compete as much. And now seeing him everywhere, he's streaming as well. He is like two. I don't know if he has both of his characters in, or both of his accounts in top 10, but he's always hovering at least one character's in top 10 at all times. The other one is like top 15. He is just a strong player, right? He's like top five goalies in NA for sure.
Mm-hmm.
So seeing him plus Pengui, who is also another like top 10 player in NA, uh, and then at the same time we have Liari, who's been a mainstay, right? This really strong midfielder who can flex to goalie, is trying out forward as well, but someone who has like a very deep pool of characters. Originally known for being a Juno one trick, but now we're seeing kind of their I'm losing the word, but when you are really good at something across multiple things,
The
right?
flexibility, the adaptability,
Exactly.
mm-hmm. The being able to such a deep fundamental knowledge so that you're able to transfer it over a multitude of characters, which is something that a lot of players don't have, and it's a very unique skill. It's a very good skill to have, especially when you're trying to bring in these newer competitive players. If you're able to be the flexible one to really change your compositions and throw things off, then these players, you know the newer ones who have their strong picks can stay on those.
Yeah. So going in, hopefully we do make it in. We are in the loading screen right now.
I
I'm hoping.
I
Um, please.
Can I get your energy in chat, please? No, no. I'm
Please.
seeing I'm seeing chaos in the Discord chats. No, no.
Okay.
No! Unfortunate. We just might have to go to a player cam if this ends up keep happening, but in the meantime, we're gonna be chilling. Where do you think LYTE needs to shore up? Right, because we talked about how they've been on a cold streak, how they haven't been playing to their potential, but what does that potential look like?
So LYTE has possibly the number one goalie in all of Omega Strikers with You Already Lose, right? Caleb is an absolutely amazing goalie player, specifically when he is on the IME. But his IME is so far above everyone else. I think only Streak has a comparable IME goalie to him. And that is something like if that character makes it through, because I don't know what the ban is going to be from Prodigy side towards LYTE, but if IME makes it through, they're already starting off one step ahead. We have seen the 80 range nerf on IME come out this last patch. It's really not that impactful. You see it a little bit more noticeable on maps like Night Market or Auten City, where the map is just bigger, so not having as much of a reach does impact you. But outside of that, the character is pretty much exactly the same. And more recently, we've been seeing the Dubu on ice make its appearance. This thing is such a menace from coming from the bottom of the barrel of the tier list, having like the community opinion of this character just being so beyond bad. But it was more of a playstyle thing where this character just needed to be unlocked with the right mindset, right? You put the glass cannon, the dancer procs, the missile prop, the specialized training, and all of a sudden you walk up and you are locking down half the map. You are putting on so much forward pressure. You can KO just fine too, right? You get missile prop, and just missile prop alone is enough. But that plus specialized training, and all of a sudden you are taking people off the map. And once people started getting a better understanding of how to play this character, all of a sudden this has become You Already Loses like next mainstay. We saw him going from the Kai secondary to playing Dubu way more. So I think the goalie is locked down. It's going to be a matter of how well Leo Leon and Corey can synergize together and see if they can make a play. Because previously, this is like a dominant forward combo, and I think over time we've been seeing other people catch up in skill level and level out the playing field. So what used to be like Corey as like the number one midfielder or number two midfielder back in beta is not at the same level anymore, and now he has to fight for that title. And we're going to see that happen here. Leo Leon, who was an ex-maniac and still is, over the last few patches, has been getting slowly nerfed over and over again. So now we've been seeing him pick up Juliet more, which he is good at, but his ex was a menace. But without the same strength or power level that this character has, we've been seeing less and less success. So I think he does just fine on Juliet. With the forward synergy is what we need to kind of see up their game if they want to win.
Right, securing those goal barriers, making sure they're synergizing on their KOs, on their passing plays, just the little synergistic things that really put teams like Core Overflow, like Dogleg Spike up above. So it's going to be interesting. We're going to have to see if Corey decides to stick with that era, because Liari is more than happy to play that as well. And so having those two go at each other could be a really interesting matchup if that era doesn't get banned, if they don't want to put the pressure on Corey to pick something else and see what happens.
Okay, and I see once again the match is found. We haven't got into loading yet, so we're hoping for the best. But now you guys got the breakdown, and yes, we are going in. We are on Amy's app here. Please do not ban Rasmus. I want to see the mirror match. It is so funny for me. Right now we have Leo Leon hovered on Rasmus, but it's going to be most likely Prodigies who will opt in for it, or I should say it is on Prodigies if they want to ban this out. Otherwise, we will see the mirror match.
Alex is going to be getting shut down from Xeno Gemini, understandably, right? You don't want that goalie getting through, and it is going to be the era getting banned from Corey. He's going to have to pick something else, and that is going to be the Rasmus, and we're probably going to be seeing it from the other side as well, as Leo Leon decides to pick Juliet.
Yeah, I really like this a lot, and honestly, I'm more of a fan of Rasmus being played as a midfielder on this map and still having someone like a Juliet or an X or whoever play your forward here. Because although Rasmus can and is like a brawler who wants to be played in that forward position, on this map, he wants to apply the pressure here with the death touch, even if you don't throw it out, right? Just knowing that he is sitting around the midfield and you have to keep track of that cooldown applies so much pressure and makes people play differently. So having him in the midfield where he gets to just circle around and be like, ooh, when am I going to throw it out? Just that's kind of the way I prefer to play it around here. And it seems like that's what they're going for too.
Was this a monumentalist start? Because these are really good picks, all of them, except for the Juliet on that monumentalist pick. No, specialized training and the Orb Ponderer from Xeno Gemini. I think that's a good pick, honestly.
I'm very surprised that You Already Lose didn't go for Orb Ponderer here and opted in for the specialized. So he's going here to just help out his team and apply more damage. I'm personally a big fan of Ponderer. I think if you get those 10 stacks, all of a sudden the cooldown on it is insane, and then you're also setting yourself up for Replicator. Because if Xeno Gemini gets his hand on Replicator, all of a sudden this game is like way different, and we have so many more cooldowns coming out from Prodigies. Looking at the game already though, Barrier getting taken down, we have 1 kill coming out for LYTE, and now they're in position to get their first point within like 30 seconds of this round starting.
Right, but this is a very good, aggressive composition coming out from the side of Prodigies, and if Leo Leon isn't careful here, could be getting sent to the KO zone. Not going to be able to do so. You already lose with a perfect core flip. Xeno Gemini has his. We're starting out pretty tame, pretty calm, pretty solid. Nothing too crazy. I really like that Penguin decided to pick this Asher here, because I think it could be really strong. So he gets able to get past 2, and he ends up getting that goal barrier. This is open goals on both sides, and Leo Leon in a bad position. Prodigy's looking like they have the advantage.
Yeah, right now, when you have this level 1 start, and Leo Leon, you saw, just got taken out, and he was level 1 for the longest time. He still is. Wow. Nice conversion here. Penguin with the patience. You already lose, almost able to save that, but Penguin uses the primary perfectly there and secures 0.1 for Prodigies.
He must have predicted that it would bounce like that or something, because that was such a good, perfectly placed primary. A barrier beam from Penguin. I don't know. Where do you think that Leo Leon needs to be standing if he wants to be taking good advantage of these players like that?
So Juliet here has so much KO potential because she can drag either to the top or the bottom, especially when you're around midfield. So I would say kind of like in that forward third, or that like that 3 out of 4 spot on the map where he's standing right now, hovering between almost the midfield and their goalie box, is a great spot to be in, because you can always come back and try to catch someone into the hole, but you need to be in position just like that to receive the pass from your midfielder and make a play from it.
And these are the passing plays that I was talking about. You know, the core flip up to Corey, down to Leo, and sending it in before people can actually put their cooldowns out is so important. Making sure they can trip these players of Prodigies up, because they are the more experienced team. But it doesn't matter if there's a Dasher getting shoved into your face. A great couple of passes and plays from Penguin, and that's all that they needed.
Yeah, and Penguin is someone who we see almost exclusively on Juliet here, bringing out the Asher, who has been nerfed, or from the rework. Collectively, the community has been saying how poor this character is now, but seeing people like Joker and Evil Heaven play it, we know that this character is strong. But Penguin getting taken out so quickly. Leo Leon and Corey get the barrier and the goal immediately, and one thing to keep in mind is they both have their flips right now, right? They have the energy burst. This can be a really quick point if they use it correctly.
If they use it correctly, it's going to be all about the execution here. And same on the Asher. You know, it's not that it's a bad pick now. It's just going to be a lot harder to execute, a lot harder to maintain that pressure. But Liari is able to pick up that orb here and is able to get Leo down. But that core flip coming out is going to be gold barriers up for the side of LYTE, but not on the side of Prodigies, with Xeno Gemini is able to take down Leo, who's standing just a bit too far forward. The turret comes out from You Already Lose. It's going to be all right for the time being. They're able to stall for just a little bit longer. Penguin does not get yanked to the zone by Corey and is able to stay up. You Already Lose has this core flip, so it should be fine, but Liari and Xeno Gemini are putting on a lot of good pressure. Look at how patient they're being on the side of Prodigies. This is exactly what you want to see from this power play defensive side. Both goalies have their core flips up. It could be anybody's goal. It's just going to be a matter of who is able to position themselves better, and Corey's looking like he's positioning super well here. Not able to find it though because of those turrets, because of the good pressure. Now you're seeing the members of Prodigies succumbing to the pressure.
Yeah, great combination between everyone there. It was Penguin, if you notice, was taken out a while ago, comes back, stands inside the turret, and then he's taken out again. For like collective 20 seconds, he was outside of the game, and it gave LYTE the just enough time to get that final point. And it was looking rough, right? Starting off 0-2 in that set. But this is absolutely huge. Happy Star extra special going over to You Already Lose. This is probably, alongside Deadeye, like the best IME training that you can pick up. You get something like that plus Timeless and Deadeye, and all of a sudden, You Already Lose can game by himself. Everything else looking pretty strong. Juliet gets denied. The Big Fish. Monumentalist going over to Liari, which is something that's quite interesting because I mentioned it in the previous game with Megaverse on Rasmus, but he is affected by creation training. Liari getting that first pull into the pit, taking out Leo Leon, and we see with the Monumentalist, right, the size of the creation is bigger, and then you have 15% more damage on tie that with specialized training, and you're getting yanked from so much more.
You're getting yanked for so much more, but Penguin is yanking this core and dribbling it perfectly. Cinder Gemini is going to try and get this one forward. Give Penguin the rock. It is not going to be able to do so. It gets by him just a little bit longer, and both of these goalies are so much weaker when these goal barriers are down. They can't have the safety and put on the forward pressure. Leo Leon, using that catalyst, has the extra energy for the burst, but gets taken down. Liari's been doing such a good job of shutting him down in this volley. Penguin's in a good position. They just need to get past Caleb, and they might be able to do so here. A great primary stuffs the core flip from You Already Lose, and that's the goal that they need, and Prodigies looks like they're adjusting.
That was absolutely insane. So the top section of the Asher primary cone was able to catch the core and freeze it in place. And then kind of like the second hit of it is what scored that. I did not expect, I thought that was going to be completely cleared, but that was insane.
Yeah, that was great. I mean, that's the kind of plays that we're expecting. The turret comes out just a little bit too late for You Already Lose, and that's going to be a goal barrier for Prodigies. Once again, it looks like they're doing such a good job at now maintaining the KOs, maintaining the offensive pressure on the members of LYTE, and this is what we've seen them time and time again get shut down and not do the things that they need to do to prevent that. Leo Leon is standing here in a really precarious spot, trying to get this core, and is not able to do so. The turret is coming out. Xeno Gemini can stand forward and core flip this if he really wants to. There's so much pressure on the side of LYTE's field, and they aren't able to get past it.
Yeah, look at where Xeno Gemini is playing, because he knows he has that barrier behind him, and it is constantly, it looks like Liari is the one who's making the plays first, right? Getting the KOs, and they are always up a man. So right now they're still up the barrier here, trying to look for a kill. Liari wasn't able to get that, use the death touch, but Leo Leon able to get the barrier here, and Liari might get taken out next. Looking really, really low here, and when you're that low, the death touch can pull you from anywhere. So it does not matter, you don't need to be pulled into the pit, but no, great passing play between Penguin and Liari.
Garfield, you had burst. You already lose, deciding to not use that core flip, and that's going to be a goal. There just wasn't enough cooldowns. They were the core was flying too fast. Finally going to use it here, and the turret comes online, and this is a third goal barrier. This could be a very quick sweep of a set as Liari takes down Corey one more time for the fans. And even though it gets flurried, Rasmus is still standing. There's almost no cooldowns, and Penguin could just shove that one through. That's an adjustment for Prodigy.
Prodigy, it's great on Liari getting all these kills, creating these extra 3v2 situations, but it really is on LYTE to step it up, right? Like, these are high-level players, and I know just well from in-houses and stuff, I get pulled into that pit all the time. You have to be so cognizant of where the other Rasmus is standing and knowing the cooldown. You are a Rasmus player yourself, right? Like, in the sense of you're Leo Leon, you're standing on, like, playing Rasmus, you know the cooldown, you must play around it better. You cannot be getting pulled in all the time. That is just allowing way too many free opportunities here for Prodigies to score. One thing I also want to point out here is Timeless Creator going over to You Already Lose, but Replicator for Xeno Gemini, which means Replicator plus Ponderer is really, really huge, who already has 10 stacks, by the way.
Yeah, and Penguin's going to be getting the Dancer, which means he's going to be able to position around that Juliet even more often, even better. They are going to try and send that hook down, not going to be able to find it. Leo Leon is deciding to use the abilities for that core. He's going to have energy burst up a lot because of it. This could be the adjustment that they need, deciding to focus on core control instead of those KOs. But then obviously KOing. Wait, was that a death touch getting sent out at the last second by Liari? And then a death touch from Corey! The ultimates are flying and this turret is alive, and the Xeno Gemini is gonna be able to stand up to it. Corey's just gonna try and take all these turret shots, but it's not worth it because he just gets KO'd! And Penguin's alive! What a great stand-up to the pressure of LYTE from Xeno Gemini!
Look at how big the creation is from Liari when thrown out because of the money. But we have Corey able to come back up, and Penguin looking really low, might get taken from anywhere. No, misses the death touch there, so Penguin gets to live a little bit longer, and Liari is actually the one who gets to pull Leo Leon here from so far away. It is absolutely, or sorry, it was Corey getting taken out here. There's so many KOs happening from Prodigies. Okay, at least the turret is there to back up Liori lose. It seems like his teammates aren't. Unfortunately, he has to rely on the AI, but it's not enough.
Relying on the AI indeed, and it almost worked out too. Like the margin of error in these plays is very, very close because both of these teams are giving each other such good problems, right? Like they're doing a good job at causing enough chaos. But it's just Prodigies that seems to be making more sense of it all, being able to find that reasoning through it all.
Yeah, and you can see Liori is trying his hardest to keep protecting these situations here, but he's constantly down a man, and that was almost like the first time Liori has missed a hook. And Corey finally, probably a sigh of relief that they have like another 15 seconds of reprieve before they have to deal with that death touch again. But Xeno Gemini able to secure the kill onto Leo Leon. An open goal here. Liari getting the freest goal of mankind, making it 2-0 in this round.
I think that really what it's the difference is that they're able to put on so much more core pressure while also putting on the KO pressure, and that's something that I'm just not seeing from LYTE, is the ability to do both. It just seems like every time that they go for one, they're not able to confidently secure the other. They're either going for KOs or they're going for the goals, but both goal barriers are open as Penguin's trying to get these cross-ups with Liari. The barrier is able to stuff it through. That was just 6 goals in a row for Prodigies.
Such a fast set here, and we're going to what could be the last round of this match. Starting off, we have Liari with first pick here, and not sure what she's going to opt in here, but most likely the Deadeye. It's absolutely massive on Rasmus here because the hook pretty much always gets the 600 range proc, and then on top of that denies you already lose. Would absolutely love to have the Deadeye himself.
Instead, I'm going to go for the Twin Drive, which makes sense, right? The missile prop coming out for Xeno Gemini as well, which is going to be putting on even more offensive pressure. You're going to have those longer range to keep that up. Overall pretty solid draft on both sides, and you already lose. I think taking the Twin Drive is really important too.
Yeah, able to take the Twin Drive there, but it's not like the Twin Drive isn't going to be that helpful when the ball is always on the side of LYTE. Like, what are you going to do? Like, it's usually you use that Twin Drive in order to make plays more in the midfield or to help out or to to keep the ball on their side. But now it's kind of just like, well, they are doing a little bit better here, but they are down a person once again. Leo Leon is not visible on the screen at the moment, and we have this 2v2 or 3v2 play happening. Penguin might get taken down here, finally cracked, and there we go. A little bit of resting coming out from LYTE, able to score 1 point and at least taking the advantage in this round.
Taking the advantage for now. You have to look at the levels, though. Liari's already level 9, and that, if you're on the side of LYTE, you're thinking that has to be a problem, right?
And Liari, with this Deadeye specialized Monumentalist, will be able to kill people from anywhere for the most part. It would have been nice if she was able to pick up something like aerials or missile prop, because you already have so much killing potential that you can yank even like you already lose from his goal and pull him into the pit.
I'm sorry. There was so much happening in the bottom right corner of that screen,
and
LYTE all of a sudden just decides, all right, we're turning it back on. We're deciding to get 2 quick goals before even 30 seconds pass in both of these points. We're back, and we're back to stay. And are they making an adjustment? It seems like they didn't do anything too crazy, other than Corey is really just focusing on keeping the core.
The adjustment is they are living, and that's as simple as it needs to be, right? If they're able to avoid dying, they can actually play the 2v2 and try to win this midfield forward combo. But if they're constantly dead, which they've been for the last 2 rounds, it's impossible, to keep up any pressure when you're down a man.
Speaking of pressure, that's so rough if you're on the side of you already lose, just trying to get that one cleared to to the diagonal part of the arena, but not able to manage it, and just having to stand there as that Asher walks into your face. Gonna be trying to make a play here this time once again, and again, it really just depends on which side of the field the core is on is gonna have the advantage and the pressure. It really does seem like once they're able to walk forward with the core, like right here, Leon has been doing a great job.
Yeah, at least it's exactly like you said, right? If the core is on the side of... Oh, who was that taken out? That was Corey once again taken out, this time by Pengui. And you already lose getting zoned out using that cyber swipe to just get out of that corner that he was stuck in, and then following it up with a core flip. But Liari and Pengui are in position here to score. Pengui using that core flip, waiting, perfect patience, right? Baits out the strike, waits out the glitch pop, and is able to tie up this round.
Pengui is definitely feeling it right now on this match point for Prodigies to secure at minimum a tie in the scoring rankings, and then it's going to come down to round differential, which is even crazier of a situation. This could be their opportunity to at least say, we're still in this, we're definitely going to be taking you to the bank. But Liari is getting taken to the bank as well and getting deposited into the death zone, as well as Corey. The Leon is able to at least cross up Xeno Gemini for the time being, and that's a goal barrier down. That's a good conversion if you're on the side of LYTE, but that is most certainly not what you want to see.
Yeah, for the first time, Liari getting taken out in this Rasmus Ditto, and comes back, immediately gets a trade back kill. They are up once again. Leon finally making his way back, but Xeno Gemini puts down the IME turret. Not enough to get the barrier here. They are in position to finish this off. They can tie up the game here. They have the barrier, and they're finally on their side of the map. But Corey looking really low. Anything touches him, and he's probably taken off the map. But Liari, little bit of misplay there, kind of standing lost in the turret, gets pushed into the well. And finally, this might be an opportunity to score, and they even it up here.
A little bit of miscommunication on the two-person hold. Pengui and Xeno Gemini both race towards that puck, but it gets yanked away, and Corey scores it. This is such a tight set already! The Young Bucks versus the Old Guard, and it's coming down to the final set, this absolute barn burner, and this draft is looking really good if you're on the side of LYTE.
Yeah, good pick of a build different there from You Already Lose. It's a huge denial from the Asher, right? Size is absolutely massive. It increases the primary hitbox by so much, and then your whole character model just gets huge. It does pick up the prime time. Heavy impact goes over to Corey, peak performance to Liari, and it looks like rapid fire to Xeno Gemini, and tempo swing to Leon. Everything looking pretty standard, nothing too crazy here. I don't think the tempo swing is going to matter too much for Leon. They're rarely dying from stagger. It's mostly just from misposition here, but the damage might be able to help out, and there it is, able to take out Xeno Gemini. Finally, something going on here, and that's actually a huge KO leading to the play there. But not only that, Xeno Gemini, who has and Ponderous stacks, is now set down to 0, so no longer getting the 40% benefit of the CDR. It's going down to 20%.
Yeah, that's huge. That's really huge pickup. And if they can maintain this and Leon can keep just firing away, I don't even see what took out Liari in that situation, but I think that LYTE has finally found the answer, the secret sauce. And Xeno Gemini is getting pressured immensely. Pengui's down for the count, and Xeno Gemini.
Oh my goodness.
All of a sudden, the damage just got absolutely spiked, and LYTE is taking over this game.
That was... what a turnaround, right? The way they played these last 2 points, you wouldn't even realize how much they felt like they were struggling the entirety of this match up until this point.
Oh goodness, this is tight. This is exactly what you want to see from the highest level of Omega Strikers, because Prodigies is getting pushed to their limit. Can they overcome the Old Guard, the people that they probably watched to get better at the game, the people that they have been trying to overcome for the entire season and prove their stuff? Corey's getting a little bit low on energy here, though. This could be interesting. We're
trading the IME turrets back and forth here, but it is You Already Lose who has Monumentalist, so it gets to stay out a little bit longer here. I'm not sure what the Rasmus ultimate cooldowns are, but expect some death touches to come out. It is Prodigies who get the first barrier right now. As we move closer into the middle, is Liari who finds the angle onto Corey. Pengui not able to secure that. You Already Lose with a great glitch pop, but Liari gets the kill onto You Already Lose, and now they get save that by himself, and we get 1 return point for Prodigies.
They have been absolutely surgical with picking apart already loses defenses and just checkmating him and basically saying, all right, even if you save this, we're going to get your life for it. But Corey that time decides it's going to get their life.
Penguin had full energy there, and they were able to get it. Leo Leon uses the burst, gets the kill, and finishes off, winning game 1, going over to LYTE.
Game 1 goes to LYTE, but they kept it close. The set differential is now even for Prodigies and LYTE. So if Prodigies wins this, they're going to be ahead in set differential, and they take the playoff spot. LYTE needs to win this set to get this one through. This is so intense. This is so intense. I can't believe that this is what ended up happening, and that it got pushed all the way to set 5, and LYTE out of nowhere decides we're going to take this one back.
It was a LYTE for the entirety, 95% of this match, who looked like they were struggling to breathe, getting constantly taken out. If it wasn't shown, I believe it was Liari who had 12 KOs on the Rasmus, who was putting on such a good performance. You can even see in the replays here, there was a 3-level advantage from Liari onto Corey. But finally, on that last, they struggled to win each of those rounds that they did win, but that last round was so dominant. I'm not sure what happened to Prodigies. Maybe it was a mishap in the Awakenings, or when they lost that previous round on round 4, the morale shot down, or LYTE's morale went up, but something happened there.
Yeah, it might have just been the momentum, right? When they finally started figuring out, okay, a couple of goals, we're able to finally get this thing and finally start looking back up, and they kind of realized, like, wait a minute, we actually did get good Awakenings. We can probably swing this, and they just started running them down. Yep. And it might have been also on the other side, a little bit of a shaky mental from Prodigies. They might have been feeling it and getting 6 straight goals, and then all of a sudden getting this resistance that they weren't expecting and not being able to adjust quickly. It's a very mental game, is Omega Strikers, and you need to be super sharp all the time, very quickly.
Yeah, and what an absolute game. Like I said before, the turnaround there on round 5 was insane. It looked like a mental differential here. I'm also looking at the chat here, and it seems like in order for Prodigies to qualify, they must 3-0 LYTE. So not only do they need the win, but they need to have like the set advantage the entire time. I'm not sure if that's entirely true, but I'm going to trust it's coming out from reputable people here. But
yes, I believe that is being corroborated by Kachi.
So good to see. We are in search, by the way, for the next match here. I'm not sure what changes need to happen, because it was such a map dependent game there, where we had the Rasmus Dittos. So any other map could look entirely different here. But like I said, it was such a strong showing from Prodigies up until that final round. So the momentum is definitely in place for LYTE, right? They're going to go into this next round feeling good. From what it sounds like, they can lose, but as long as they get the set advantage, or it's as long as they don't get 3-0'd in this set, they're safe.
And safe is exactly the word that we're using. It seems like, as well, you have to be thinking about the other end of the spectrum, right? This is going to determine exactly who's getting put into the relegation tournament. Yep. So this is very tense for that matter too. If Prodigies ends up getting stomped, they're at risk of getting put into that relegation tournament.
Yeah, and it looks like we are going into it barring any loading bugs. So hopefully this does find its way in. We'll see what the matches is and the starting Awakenings. But outside of that, it is on Prodigies to step up here, right? They had the strong showing earlier on. They have what it takes to win this, and they clearly can win. It looked like there was a mental battle. They were winning the midfield. They were winning the forward, kind of like 2v2. Penguin had a really good performance on Asher. It just fell apart towards the end. So if they can keep what they had in the beginning, we have an opportunity here to 3-0 LYTE. It's going to be difficult, but it's not doable.
Right. It's as we said at the beginning of this cast, anything can happen. This is Omega Strikers. There's so much variance at play. It's going to come up down to who executes better, who's able to take advantage of that situation, and who is the better team at the end of the day.
Yeah, and it looks like we weren't able to get in, had a little bit of a spectator issue there. So queuing up once again, trying to resolve this issue. We should be into the match shortly.
Should be in shortly. Are you happy, Mystic? Are you happy with how NASL has turned out, just on the whole?
Overall, a great performance. I'd like to see more matches. You know, we have matches that are off stream as well, that are streamed by the players, but it is sometimes, you know, the excitement of watching it on the Saturday with everyone and seeing it live after, you know, one hype match to another. I'd like to see that more, but outside of that, you know, I'm very impressed, right? I was not expecting NASL East at least to turn out the way it was. We have these new teams coming up. We have Core Overflow putting on such a big performance. We have Finesse as well, who are looking really strong. LYTE, the way we've said that going into NASL, we expected them to be so much higher and going down lower. So I am impressed overall with kind of the storylines and how everything is developed. And I'm excited to see what playoffs look like, how relegations are going to turn out. Are we going to see new people? We're looking into like the game's lifespan is progressing, which means we're going to see new people as they learn to come up, and it's going to be so interesting, you know, in NASL season 2 or as the game goes on to just see what new players can do. Can they shake up the meta as well? So I'm happy, I'm excited, and I hope this gets to continue.
Yeah, the future of the game, in all honesty, in a competitive sense, looks very bright, and I think a lot of people recognize that. A lot of people are putting time and energy into that, and which is more than exciting. It's promising. It looks really cool. I'm very curious though. Like, have you been keeping tabs on the amateur series?
I've watched some games, and it is fun. I've been seeing a lot of new faces there, but it is fun to see just new names come up and perform. There were some really good performances overall from these Diamond players who could be challenger at any point, and then eventually Omega.
Mm-hmm. We're finally getting into game. This set for the playoff spot in NASL East. We're seeing the hovers. We're on Oni Village. This is going to be interesting because we saw how Oni Village turned out for DLS versus Core Overflow. And if we're having another set like that, we're going to be here for a while.
So we have the era currently banned once again. We don't want to see it from Corey. Pengui hovered on the Juliet, Liari on Estelle, and Xeno Gemini sitting on the Amy. It looks like a pretty solid composition here on Oni Village, but we saw how crazy the core can get in overtime. So let's see what the side of LYTE is going to choose. Leo Leon looking like he's going to be playing the Juliet. Of course, the signature IME for you already lose, and it's going to be a mirror match, it seems.
It is going to be a mirror match. I love seeing Estelle on Oni Village and going back to beta, you know, with these Estelle picks is very fun because there's a lot of setups, there's a lot of depth that has been explored with Estelle that these players are bringing back, which makes this game so much more interesting to see from that perspective. You know, how can these players stuff the core? How can these players use that range to their advantage?
Yeah, and we see it's a hot shot agility spark start for this game here on Oni Village. We might see some a little mare of Sparkington come out, depending on how the drafts shake out. But also, just one thing that I want to point out here is there is an update. It is Prodigies need not a 3-0 in order to beat LYTE. They can qualify with a 3-1.
They can qualify with a 3-1 because of point differential?
I'm not sure the reasoning why. I just see what is being told here. But I guess it's either point differential, set differential, but they only need the 3-1.
All right, this could be everything then. It's going to take 2 sets from LYTE to secure this victory. And Leo Leon is looking to make that first step happen. Walking forward, sending out that Fiery Flurry. You already lose, sending out this core flip. Nobody was ready for it.
A little bit of demon angle there.
That was crazy.
You already lose with a great goal.
Yeah. Nothing else to be said, honestly. It was just unfortunate that there were no cooldowns up at the time, but Xeno Gemini is probably kicking himself for that one at least a little bit. And these goal barriers are going down so quickly for Prodigies. That's very scary if you're on the forward end of Prodigies. you need to be thinking, all right, am I playing too far forward? Is our gameplay not working? We need to start getting these barriers, and finally they do.
Yeah, Penguin able to get that second barrier here. It is really hard for an IME to defend, and we just see there, Prodigy is able to score 2 barriers pretty quickly, and then LYTE putting it in. But on the defensive side of things, there's really no anti-stuffing tools that IME has. And if one barrier gets through, it's very common for the other one to fall pretty quickly here. But the IME does offer, and we're seeing it right there once again. It's like if you just miss one, you try to go protect the one. A lot of times you see both barriers fall, and that's all three rounds or 3 points have started off exactly the same for Xeno Gemini, but at least they are getting the barriers back. Penguin might be able to secure this. He's trying to find the angle for the core flip, misses, but LYTE is there to kind of rebound for him, backing him up.
And that's exactly right. Like, Xeno Gemini needs to just, like, either play for one or just, like, not be shaken up at all and get these passes through to create that offensive pressure for the members of Prodigies. And so far, it's been pretty successful in doing so. Look at Penguin's positioning. Able to move up here, try and get these pressure onto Leo Leon, forcing him to step away for the time being, but gonna have that speed boost from the side stream, from the slipstream. This is looking dicey. Corey is in a really good spot, and the members of Prodigies are not able to move forward onto the enemy side of the field.
Yeah, it's looking, honestly, like a little bit of nerves coming out from Xeno Gemini here. We're missing both barriers a lot of times. When one falls, the other one does as well. But for the first time, we have one barrier alive that he can protect here, and it is LYTE able to get the kill onto Penguin there, giving them the man advantage. Leo Leon also has his own core flip, but LYTE finding the nice angle there, able to get not only, oh my goodness, gets the barrier, gets the kill, gets the second kill, gets the point.
Hello, expertly dodging Leo Leon's pressure and just turning that entire situation around. And this is the first one of many that they need. They can hold this down. They just need to make sure that the members of LYTE do not scale past what is necessary. And LYTE getting first pick here is also really, really helpful, because that fire up could have been really strong on You Already Lose.
Yeah, it's such a tough pick, because it's like, you want fire up on your goalie, but then that gives Deadeye over to You Already Lose. And we have Xeno Gemini picking up the Happy Star here, extra special. It's looking really like both IMEs get something really good here. Ponder goes over to Corey. I don't know how much like I personally would go for that. But Penguin also here, it has 2 stacks, so keep that in mind. He has speed and spark, and speed, having that one on this map is absolutely huge, right? There's so much ball chasing happening around with the speed gates or the side speed boost gate thing. Stream, river, yeah. But if we see this go on, Penguin can become a monster with these sparks here.
Deciding to dip into the river, maybe going into the jungle for just a little bit. Getting dash punching and getting sent to the KO by You Already Lose's glitch pop. That was such an unfortunate situation for Penguin, and this is a power play. They can hold on and keep this core on the other side, but Penguin comes up with cooldowns and is able to push it out. This is a really good offensive opportunity. LYTE is able to dash in, blink in, not going to be able to find the barrier for the time being, but that's a lot of good pressure on Corey, who's going to be able to dodge and is going to be able to stay alive for the time being, unless Penguin has something to say about it. But no, wait! Did not get carried by Penguin's dash punch. This is going to be a back and forth situation, and this is where Oni Village is going to be everything.
Oh, Penguin getting the kill with the flurry there. With the new update that just came out on the latest patch, you can no longer elusive that if you are staggered here, and that was enough to secure the kill onto Corey. But they do lose the final barrier, and is Corey is back up.
Leon did such a good job at intercepting there, but this time not going to be able to find it. Penguin's able to send that one with a core flip and find the barrier. Already Lose sending out the glitch pop. A lot of pressure. Not going to be able to find it just yet. Elusive from Corey, and is going to be able to sneak in and find that goal with the help of Leo. That's exactly what you want to see from LYTE. That coordination, that pressure, that engaging on the helpless Xeno Gemini, and they were able to do so successfully. I don't know, Mystic. Who do you think has the advantage right here?
I think that winning that first round was absolutely massive for Prodigies there. They were looking so nervous. And right now, they are losing their barriers, but at least it looked like they're playing with a little bit more confidence here. LYTE has been able to hold it down. And while they have no barriers, you can see the difference in the play already from the first round to now. So LYTE has the advantage here, but it's looking like, you know, I think this can go in the way of Prodigies completely.
This could go in the way of Prodigies. They just need to secure this gold barrier and make sure the Penguin doesn't end up getting KO'd from a stray Ivy turret that he couldn't dodge out of. Lilian and Penguin both getting a little bit too low. Both Juliets looking like they could end up in the blast zone if they're not careful. Punches getting traded either way. And finally the flurry comes through and is not able to get elusive by Penguin. Gonna be down, but Liari's done this before, but not gonna be able to do so. Corey decides this power play is mine and is gonna send that one in. LYTE is looking for the first of 2 sets that they need to secure the qualifying spot.
Yeah, if they win this, they only need 1 more from there. So it is, Prodigies has to make something happen right now if they want to keep this up, right? Because if they win at least this next round, they're looking so good, they can give 1 round away. And Penguin starting this off strong, getting a kill onto Corey there, who was taken out. Now they have the man advantage. You already lose, forced to use the turret just to defend a little bit longer, so he no longer has that for the offense play. You know, Gemini walking up, using the man advantage to help and try score this or try to get that final barrier. Using that core flip, it's not enough. He is able to save it though. Penguin walking up almost has his own flip. They could get this final barrier really soon. And let's see if they're able to make it. Penguin not able to get that kill with his own dash punch, and now we're kind of ping-ponging back and forth for a little bit.
Prodigies really needs to secure those goal barriers on the power plays. Look at the pressure from Liari, able to keep this one on the side for the time being, but because playing so far back, she can't get that goal barrier through. And Lilian is in such a good spot, just sitting in the goal box, and that's going to be the first barrier gone. Core Flip is able to save it from Corey's Rose Warp, and that's going to be the goal barrier. This is exactly what they need to start getting these online. The pass, knowing exactly where to position is Liari, and Penguin's on You Already Lose. Caleb is getting punched through the pressure here. A great strike to trip things up from Leo Leon, but no core flip is going to go through. A great piercing shot from Liari is going to send that one right past You Already Lose. And that's the first point that they need to make sure that everything is okay.
It looks like Liari keeps finding these almost miracle plays and holding things together until Prodigies can make something happen here. Xeno Gemini is getting a lot better with the saves here, which is good to see, but we are still seeing kind of like these misplays that are leading onto the barriers rather than like a good offensive play from LYTE. So if Xeno Gemini can hold it down just a little bit more, we're going to start seeing more points rack up, and Liari getting taken down from the combination of, I think that was the primary plus the glitch pop here, but Penguin trading it right back.
Exactly, and these trades are really important. Penguin's able to find these KOs in just the right situations and circumstances. Corey gonna stuff that flip and gonna get stuffed back into the side as this goal barrier goes down, and this is exactly what you want to see if you're on the side of Prodigies. Leo Leon gonna get taking Penguin away and preventing the power play from going too far. He's gonna be doing a good job at preventing these plays, and no, Xeno Gemini hitting that run right back into the piercing shot of Corey, and that's the first set.
Xeno Gemini there getting a little bit angsty. He tried to cyber swipe into the core flip, but the core was too far away, so he hit it from the larger part of the hitbox, pushing it outside of the range of the core flip, missing it completely, and then it gave You Already Lose a free shot onto their barrier, which ended up leading to that final point.
This draft is going to determine a lot because Ariel's going over to Corey instead of Liari. Heavy Impact is probably going to get taken by... No! The mayor of Sparkington City is picking up one more, and this could be big. No Heavy Impact going over to either of the Juliets, and that's 3 sparks, but no power spark, which means that there's not going to be a lot more damage, not going to be the improved knockback, but there's going to be a lot more output. But Xeno Gemini doesn't need that right now. He needs those players out of his face. Otherwise, it's just going to end up exactly like it has the past couple of sets and points, where he's just going to get collapsed on. You Already Lose is able to keep the pressure away.
Yeah, Penguin is going to already start putting on. You can see how much faster he is now that he has 3 sparks. And like you said, he doesn't have that strength spark, so you're not going to see as much power come out. But just the speed and the cooldowns, you're going to see way more dash punches come out, way more flurries come out, and eventually that could lead to kills. Or at least, look at the pressure, right? He's able to walk back and forth way more than Leo Leon. Right now, though, Leo Leon is grooving, and good play between him and Corey.
That was a very good play. A little bit too far forward were the members of Prodigies, and Xeno Gemini was just stuck on the back end, nothing to do but hope and flail and pray that the core didn't go in, but it did. Liari needs to be the one to really step up here and take the carrying that she's already been doing and put it on tenfold, and that's exactly what she did right there, able to get the goal barrier. Penguin's in a good spot to make sure that he can follow up on her plays. Gonna try and send this one away as Caleb, but not gonna be able to find it. The core flip gets stuffed, and no, Penguin wasn't there. Just the right spot to send this one back, and Xeno Gemini is gonna get punched here. Oh, Mystic, this could be it.
This could be it, but we have the barrier advantage here for Prodigies. They're trying to make something happen here. Penguin is fighting for his life. 3 levels down, though, onto You Already Lose. Trying to make something happen. If he at least had the... Someone got taken out somewhere. I think...
What?
Okay, so I don't want to interrupt the play here. Good point from Liari, but what happened there was Penguin punched...
Okay.
Penguin punched before the TP happened onto Corey, and then when Corey ended up teleporting, this is just like a known interaction. It's not at all. But like the knockback kind of happens after the teleport.
Right.
And that's why you can see like Zentaros get taken out randomly when they dash, or in that previous set when like the Luna got like flicked by the like the Atlas expanse. So those things like that happen, but oh my god, 15-second point here coming over to LYTE.
15-second point, and this is exactly what they need. This is it. This is one goal that Prodigies, that LYTE needs to secure the playoff spot, and if they get it, it's good. They can rest on their laurels. This is it, though. Like, the goal barrier is exactly what the members of Prodigies need, and they have been struggling to get this entire time. The dash punch is going to secure it, though. They need to shut down Caleb, and I think that they're finally realizing that as Penguin walks forward right towards him, able to find the core flip, and the Thorns trying to send this one through. Piercing shot gets stuffed away by the Corey, I believe that got that strike off. The turret comes online, and this is so tight. Liari just really wants to find a couple more shots, but the members of LYTE have been doing such a good job at interrupting the passing play between Penguin and Liari.
Yeah, they have no barriers, but look at the defense, right? Something like that, if that same attack happened on Xeno Gemini and Liari, great point there. Penguin forcing You Already Lose to go to lose save, well, held him down towards that bottom section, and Liari finding the snipe onto the core.
They can save it. They can save it right here. The members of Prodigy just need to get one more goal and then one more set, and then they're good. They're in the playoffs, but they need to be perfect here as Leo Leon wants to try and absolutely ruin their dreams of getting into these playoffs and is doing such a good job at walking forward. But Xeno Gemini finally looking alive. No, the core flip into the punch is going to send that one, but the great piercing shot from Liari gets one more barrier. They just need one more. The Crystal Thorns. The KO on both the Stells at the same time. And this power play might end up in LYTE's favor, but no, Prodigies is able to save it and stall for the time being.
Okay, it looks like Xeno Gemini opting in to stall for Liari to come back up rather than forcing this in. Penguin, the only one with core flip available. Leo Leon coming up with it next, but they're trying to make something happen here. You can see he's trying to get into position here to flip. Great flip there, and no, You Already Lose. Absolutely insane strike to save that, and then again another strike, protecting from the piercing shot here. Leo Leon is going fast, and there it is. I think he had the egoist moving him, Soggy himself. Core flip, able to do it. This is not even the end of the game, but it is the end of the run for Prodigies.
Oh, I don't know if they know or not, but that is it. That is their playoff hope dashed because of two insanely well-timed strikes from You Already Lose on that IME goalie. The return of the GOAT of goalies is back and has made the world of difference for this match against Prodigies, and that gets them into playoffs.
And yeah, like we're going into this, what could be the final round or the second to last round. But at this point, I'm not sure how this is going to play out here. Yes, it's important to win the game for overall standings, but the current standings are set in stone. I guess it's, you know, we're here to play it out, improve your record. Maybe Penguin was Penguin able to pick up the final spark there? I'm not sure if it appeared or not, but that will still be fun to see if that can make it through.
Still be fun to see, and they're gonna try. You know, these players are not. They're competitors at the end of the day. They're not gonna let something like that prevent them from playing at their best. You know, it's just a matter of how much it's gonna shake up their mental, or if it's gonna end up actually improving it. Leo Leon, though, stuffing that one in as usual.
And yeah, we're looking at a quick point here for LYTE. Looking at the trainings again, Penguin is able to pick up stacks on stacks. and I do not see any spark of strength there, so it looks like it's still on the table. If they're
Right,
able to take
exactly.
this, we could see it in the final round and see a little bit of Force Spark action.
I would love to see the Force Spark, quite honestly. I think it's super fun to watch these players just like completely go nuts once they have all those insane stats, but we'll see if it happens. LYTE trying to make this quick work and sending Liari into the Nether Realm, the Shadow Realm. Gonna be an easy one to get through, probably, if Leon can keep up this pressure on the Xeno Gemini.
Yeah, they're up a band. Penguin trying his best here. I think he finally got the full stacks of his pancakes there. But it is Prodigies who lose both of their barriers here. Xeno Gemini can get taken out at any moment. They have both barriers here. They have the man advantage here. No goalie sitting in the goal box for Prodigies. But, any straight shot can go in, and they hold it down until he comes back. 4 more seconds here, trying their best. Great save from Liari.
That was such a good save from Liari, knowing exactly how late she had to time that. But Leon is trying to shove this one through the turret. Corey's piercing shot bounces it off with the help of the slipstream, ends up sending that one into the other corner. And this is match point for LYTE, who has returned to form.
And yeah, looking so much more dominant here than that first game on IMZAP. Only 1 more point needed to finish this off. And essentially 2-0 Prodigies here for this final match leading into the playoffs.
Oh, and what a good passing play. The members of Prodigies kind of a little bit crumbling under the pressure, and Corey and Leon have been doing wonderful work, and a great MVP from You Already Lose, and that was super well deserved. Now I understand. I see the vision of Aimi Goalie and what its true potential could be, because that was exquisite play.
Yeah, really good performance from LYTE though, showing that they started out super rough there on the first few rounds of IMZAP, and then slowly with that final round getting the motivation back, and we're seeing way more cleaner plays. There's so many insane saves from You Already Lose, and then on top of that, Leon and Corey getting a little bit of their synergy back together. So they definitely deserve this win. But if you're Prodigies, there's always next time, I believe.
There is always next time. They are going to be staying in the North American Strikers League. They are not, unless some crazy stuff happens with the PPL comeback game. But I'm going to have to refer to the TOs on this one, onto whether or not they still have a chance. They're going to be sitting pretty in 5th place for now, chilling, staying in the league, and making sure that their next season is going to be the one that ends up turning the tables.
Okay.
Overall, though, good showing.
Yep. Definitely. So after this match, we will be going on to a new set of casters, but I think we'll be taking it over to break. We'll also have another analyst desk segment with Coach Yoki once again, so don't go too far away. Oh, no break yet. I'm holding.
Don't break yet. Don't break yet. We're holding.
No,
we're
no
holding.
breaking.
Mystic, while we're on the subject of outroing, though, do you have any places where people can find you? Any Twitters to plug? Any people you want to shout out?
Of course. So over on Twitter at Mystic _watch, or on Twitch, I have one Omega Strikers VOD up from the last 2 weeks, but I'll definitely be streaming a little bit more often going forward at Mystic Watch, no underscore. So I would appreciate if you guys could drop a follow there. And what about you, Magic 8 Ball? Where can we find you?
You can find me on Twitter at magic_octo. But that is going to be it from us. I believe Coach Yoki is ready now. We're going to be sending it over to him. Thank you so much for tuning in to these awesome matches of the North American Strikers League East. Stay tuned.
Hello everyone, I'm back with the one and only Coach Yoki, and these games were really close. Like, LYTE pulled away in the end, but Prodigies definitely had a huge shot. What do you think was the difference maker? You're muted.
Had to happen. It's gonna happen every single series today. These games were like as close as they can be. This is like what Omega Strikers can be, and it's supposed to be, is these super freaking high intensity clutch moments where like one mistake wins and loses each game. In the first game, which went the distance, it went the absolute maximum distance. We had our Rasmus mirror matchup, and in the first draft, it is more than worth highlighting. the new Monumentalist pick, with Rasmus's hook now being considered a creation after it reaches the empowered state, it then becomes a creation. And we see this like hook gets actually insane value. I don't have the clip of the hook being as big as it is, but it's about yay big. It's about this big, you know, but it's meaningful. It matters a lot. And whenever you have specialized training as the opening awakening, that hook causes so much like pressure. It's such a KO threat in the game. So much so that we see in the third set, where Larry's hook there gets like an early barrier. Leo Leon and Corey are like positioned and transitioning on offense. And even though they win possession and win the gate, what happens is Corey kind of overcommits, could be controlling and keeping possession of the core. But what I want to highlight really is focus on like Prodigy's position and how they are all defensive positionally on their half. Whenever LYTE is, you already lose anchoring, and then Corey and Leo are also like playing aggressive. But because Lyara used her hook at the beginning of the round, it's possible that she has it here. And what we see is Leo Leon was initially positioned for a pass, but then whenever Gemini's Imi turret comes down, he then realizes, oh, I won't have a pass. So as Leo Leon begins to now rotate and try to go help on defense and match Pingui, look at the hesitancy and the amount of care that Leo puts into his rotate, kind of backstepping and trying to like not get hooked for free versus Larry. And by the time he gets here, it's just a little bit too late, and Prodigy's had possession for too long. And this is where, I mean, we see a dominant 3-0 come out from Prodigy's to go up 2-1 in the match. But then whenever it came down to like the end of the game, where like all the marbles on the line, we see a hook missed there from Larry, and then You Already Lose had, I believe, specialized with timeless. Maybe something else on his turret, which chunks. It deals so much damage. And Zuna Gemini had 10 Ponder stacks this whole game. So this is the first time in that like Ponder stacks were reset, which means so much less core control from the side of Prodigies. And Leo getting that reset really did just like kind of turn the tide a lot in this fifth set, picking up the first goal. And then after this, we see this transition into like a 2-1 lead, and at this point LYTE was just feeling themselves. They were comfortable, they were confident. Whenever the core is won, we saw You Already Lose when kickoff, and then immediately throw down the Imi turret with Corey in position. Even though Leo was matched against Pingui, Larry's not in position to play for the hook. And then as Pingui's trying to deny Leo's rotate, Pingui ends up like keeping the core on the side of Prodigies, and then Corey's able to backstep with possession to find this hook because You Already Loses turret is down. And then Leo Leon immediately back, focusing on the Xeno Gemini kill after they have this man advantage, just playing for the damage, and that's what ended up securing the game 1. But then as we go into game 2, it was just as close of a match. Larry had this amazing like pop-off moment. The stage was set for her to take control of this game, if you would. Larry is pretty known for her stealth pop-offs, honestly. And we see Liari, however you want to say it. Chat's going to say something, I know. But anyways, we see Pingui go down early, and Liari is able to get this snipe and to secure this top goal barrier. And Gemini sets up Liari well with this Imi turret. And then the core flip kill, and then into the Imi turret, which chunks Caleb one time. And then actually it wasn't Liari's kill, but it was the turret that secured the first set. But this game, I refer to this game as a game of inches. Like this entire second match was as close as it could be. Every single point was decided by one mistake or one good play. So we see Pingui win this strike where You Already Lose, gets a good clear, gets a good save. Then the combo KO from Corey, and then Pingui gets the trade, so it's 2 versus 2. And this whole set is just back and forth. Prodigies had their moment where they won by inches, and then this is just where LYTE ultimately were able to close it out. Is back, Pingui gets the KO and LYTE's down. You Already Lose, able to get the clear, but then Leo secures the kill, and it's just back and forth. But eventually, And like I said, it's just LYTE barely is able to win out, finding this core flip on the barrier to reset the game state to even. No barriers on either side. They get the pass to Leo. And then whenever Corey is able to get back up, he's up before Pingui, is able to apply this pressure and barely, in the matter of pixels, get the goal on Xeno Gemini. But then as we continue to watch, it's just that close each time. We saw LYTE have her pop off and score a few goals. But then Corey, I'm gonna be honest, guys. I'm gonna be real honest. After the side streets incident, where it was the Drakkar and Araban from CECC land from the beginning of launch, where Corey was forced on Estelle and lost in, I believe, game 4 or 5 of Grand Finals, I had my doubts. Going against Larry on Estelle, I was a little bit of a Corey doubter, but Corey actually kind of came through and popped off when it mattered the most and just was able to like find goals that shouldn't really be findable. Winning the Estelle blink past the 50-50 and then getting it past Lie before the Estelle primary comes down. And that leads into the last goal of the second set, which sent LYTE into playoffs. Not the last goal, but the last one they needed. And this one was actually Caleb, the GOAT, the man, the myth, the legend, saving the core flip, and then Leo Leon creating a little bit of pressure. But if I was to pause this frame, will it save? Bro, there's no way. There's no way freaking You Already Lose saves this. And somehow Odyssey gives him like the best connection ever seen, and he was lagging this whole game. So I don't know how Caleb popped off and made the save. But then eventually Leo Leon has the core flip to win by a factor of 1 in the strike core versus Xeno Gemini to close it out for LYTE. But amazing set from both teams. It was as close as it can be, but just LYTE was able to have that extra clutch factor and pop off when they needed it most to secure.
All right, and that is it for the first 2 sets. That is it for Mystic and Magic 8 Ball. We'll be back after a short break with new casters with new games, still NASL East. See you then.
Mm-hmm.
Don't go anywhere.